Hi. Thank you so much. So, I want to understand from the two great panelists with me who are over here that how the mall and retailers relationship is changing over the time, because we have seen there was a time when there was a different model that, I mean, rent model that was followed by the retailers and the mall people, and now lease model then came into business. We want to understand how it is evolving further and what steps both retailers and mall people are taking to build a strong relationship going ahead.
Well, we were friends before. We are still friends. No. Uh, Hi, good evening, everyone. So, thank you, Charu, for inviting. I think you know. Let me just give you a quick background on we run cinemas. Cinepolis is a 5-decade-old company and operates in about 19 countries. So, I guess the Charu's question was more about pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. But I think from the time we entered, we saw that there is a need of organizing the retail space, especially from the mall developer side. And pure rental model has never worked, and for a two reason. And I'm talking about when we entered uh, about 15 years back. We saw that if you offer a fixed rental, two things happens: either you are making abnormally high money or you're losing money. In both the cases, it's not a win-win situation. And then we started pitching that, guys, we are willing to occupy the best space and the largest space in the mall. We'll make sure that we put in an effort to see that we generate the per screen high revenue. And then let's split, because we are equally investing in the space. And unlike many other anchor, our investments are immovable. I mean, apart from projector and chair, there is hardly anything that we can move out. So there was a need of an organized mall operator, and that's what we saw in Nexus. We're so thankful that the group decided to start acquiring asset. We have seen not only uh, the organized mall, when they focus on uh, real estate retail, which is a big line, silver line between real estate and real estate retail, where you keep focusing on how do you increase the yield of the retail space. You are more concerned about your retailer than only about rental, and about your bank who's following up with you that okay, LRD to kar diya hai, when are you going to give us the discount or our installment? That changed the landscape. That really worked, and the way I see it is going to continue to operate like that, where we both come together and see that how do we increase the traffic, how do we get the share of wallet, how do we expand the share of wallet and the people who are spending on a per square foot. And that's how the relationship has been working with many. I mean, Nexus, I'm saying right because Jayant is sitting next to me, and I want to be good to him. But that's how the mall operators are now focusing on, and that's how I'm saying that that's how the industry will evolve, whether it is cinema or any other retail. The moment you start focusing on ki per square feet revenue kaise badhaye, it will be a win-win situation.
Yeah. John, what would you like to add to it?
I think only one thing that I'll just add to what Devang said. He already answered the question that you asked. I think we have moved from malls being just real estates to now malls being run as real estate retail partnerships. And he rightly pointed out the fact that with Nexus, because we were an acquisition model, we never actually built any single mall. We only acquired the malls that were built. And with the proficiency of hygiene safety standards or service standards, the whole aim was to curate right brands, and with the right brands create a community center or create a destination which will excite the customer again and again and again. So what we were discussing with a cup of coffee also with Devang doesn't see our mall as different. He sees the same customer walking into, let's say, an Ahmedabad one as a Cinepolis customer, and we also see the Cinepolis customer as an Ahmedabad one customer. So that differentiation, at one point of time, it used to be, I'm the cinema, I'm bringing you the crowd, you do what I say. Then has come down to now that no, the customer is for both of us. Let us work out, and as he rightly pointed out, let us work out the share of wallet and what best we can bring to the table both together. So I think that has changed dramatically, and I think way forward, I guess it will only grow stronger.
So, can retailers and cinema chains maybe and the malls collaborate together and use technologies to drive more footfalls going ahead?
I think we just were discussing simple example, Charu, that the mall also organizes events on weekends, and generally there is a complaint from the cinema owner कि भाई यार आप एक वहाँ पे rock event करते हो and then all the crowd goes there and what happens to my cinema. We did an experiment which worked very well where we said, okay, don't worry, we'll do an F&B this thing also where you serve the F&B in that particular concert from your coffee tree. And this is an actual live example. Not only did we get 250 odd conversions orders from the people there, but it actually meant that people were aware that there is a nice eating joint within Cinepolis in our own mall where you can enjoy wraps, you can enjoy things which are very different from what you get into a food court, as you call it. So I think that is the kind of way of partnerships that we are building. To answer another question, we have what we call a Nexus One app, which is where we get the customers to come and enroll with us. The app has multiple facets to it. One of it's a loyalty program also. And when we talked about loyalty program, one of the first things what we did, we liaised with our cinemas and gave off as not just vouchers that, a 500 rupee voucher of, let's say, X, where you have to buy 1,000 worth of goods and then get 500. No, we gave off clean tickets to cinemas. And you could go on even on a weekend. That was what we said. I mean, we were willing to kind of partner with the cinema. Helped a lot in terms of times when you don't have dramatic content, but you have decent content and you convert the person going into a cinema rather than not going there. So we have been in that cusp also. So customers, data, now the sharing I think is immense. I think that one can also add to this.
No, I think well summarized. I mean, the point that we are saying now is that, I mean, especially when you're talking about cinemas, I mean, we have seen an era of black marketing to now going to the customer and telling them, please come for the movie. So, unless you are hands-on with your customer behavior, and that's where the technology and digitalization works. Now, it may be an eye-opener for many of you, but there are cities where 85% of our tickets getting booked are online. I mean, there are states like, let's say Punjab, where we still have a lot of cash economy, and then 30%, 35% goes online, and 65% people still walk into the box office. They don't want to do digital transaction. But then there are states like Karnataka and places in South, even in Bombay, Delhi, we have seen now 80% transactions are happening online. What does that mean is that basically we know how they move, we know what their preference is. Um, in a in a place where we are running about 450 screens, we have a database of about 7 million customers. Now, there is a Club Cinepolis loyalty program that we run, which is purely on account of digital, and which is where we say that the mall partner really helps us because they are the one who tell us that these are the lean period for us. Then we sit down together. We know that today Kalki is releasing. Hold on, don't go aggressive on promotion. We know that even if you don't do anything, cinemas are going to go full. But then after Kalki, if the mindset is that the next movie that they're going to see is, let's say, Pushpa or Singham, then how do you invite them back between, July to December? And if you want that frequency to increase, if there are customers who are not coming for watching movie, how do you incentivize them to come back to cinema? So there are technologies available. We are working very aggressively on omni channels that we work on. But at the same time, we partner with mall and an organized mall operator who themselves are running loyalty program. It's a marriage, and when we merge together, it basically, uh, you know, increases the yield per square foot, which is the name of the game for everyone.
So, Devang, specifically not for your brand, in general, I'm talking about the cinema industry. As we see, the F&B offerings are evolving at cinema chains, and there are many people who are ordering online from these restaurants as well, right? So there has been a buzz about it that mall owners want some omni-channel share in that. So how open the cinema chains are to this idea to give the share, or what sort of shares cinema owners look forward to? Then if you can add to it, I want the perspective of both of you on this thing.
Uh, I mean, there is no dispute. Whatever revenue we generate, or rather, no dispute or no debate, whatever revenues we generate from our space, whether it is on box office or F&B, we share, and that's the understanding. So that's how you see mall is pushing for, like Jayant rightly said, that for our coffee tree, Jayant is more concerned that how do you increase the yield from that coffee tree. So precisely the idea is not that we have fixed one rental and then we don't give anything. That's how we started, and that's how we moved from, traditionally selling only popcorn and cola. Now you go to cinema, it's not about popcorn and cola. Of course, they still hold a lion share, but then how do you serve, the chat items? They save puri, bel puri to pastas and pizzas. I mean, all the gourmet foods are available. But I think the whole idea and the uh, things that we work on is, it was always like a movie, and when you go either before to the restaurant, either in the mall or outside the mall, and then come for a movie, or you have food at home and then come for a movie, or you have movie and then go and have food either at the mall or at home. But now it's movie with food. So those kind of partnership we continue to work on. And even with the mall brands, like for example, we just recently partnered with Baskin, who were a mall partner. Then we said, okay, why don't you come and sell at our from our cinemas, because we already have 1 million customer coming in every year um, with this space. They may not be coming to your store, but let's work out a space where, the mall partner starts selling their food in our cinema, and then it becomes a win-win for everyone. So I don't think that's a question where um, interests are not aligned. Both our interests are aligned, and we continue to work on, like I said, that increasing the yield in whichever way, in whatever format we can.
So the brands are collaborating with brands as well as malls to take ahead. I mean to grow together, all of them. So I would that know. My question was, if what if people start ordering from Swiggy and Zomato? Are you still open to give the revenue share from your
To whom?
to malls?
Yeah, I mean, there is, I mean, by the way, we have partnered with Swiggy and Zomato. The way we see it is that most of our food offering is for the delivery, for the people to consume at the cinema. Many of when we take poll, they find the cinema offering is expensive, so the food delivery does not take a lion share. And now also, if we vote, you will see the hand raising that the popcorns are very expensive at cinemas. But then that's how you get the experience. It's not the price of popcorn that you're paying, but for the experience of the movie that you're paying for. And yeah, I mean, those are not a material revenue. I don't think that question of delivery is relevant for cinema. Maybe it may be relevant for a food court or any other platform, but not for cinema. That's what I see.
And just to add, in fact, even in the food court, like you rightly pointed out, there are deliveries happening from Swiggy, Zomato, and we still hold the share that is there in the food court also. And this happened during COVID times when we actually allowed the kitchens to work so that they could supply to the customers while everything else was closed. And just to add, see, the partnerships has got a very symbiotic relationship, because the more I am able to give revenue to, let's say, Devang, or to any particular retailer, the more the retailer looks at our malls as the primary mall. And in his mindset, if he has to spend money in transforming, technology is evolving, the then next architecture is coming in, the merchandising, the way in which fixtures are there is changing, the way the overall look and feel of the store is changing. So if we are able to deliver that kind of conversion and continuous growth, obviously our malls will be at the top of the mind. Whenever we call Devang, then he'll pick up the phone first cut. Okay, chalo, iska phone aaya, let me just take the phone and find out what best we can do. So I think that is the relationship that is going to help us evolve forward.
So the malls and the brands are working collaboratively to take the brands and the business and the mall business ahead. That is wonderful. I'll open the floor for questions to the audience. Anyone, any questions? Cool. Then we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much.